Hi guys, Lisa Edwards of Exclusive Career Coaching here. Hey, it's 45 degrees here in North Florida and we're all very whiny about it. That seems how a large portion of the country is not even getting up to zero today. Goodness gracious, I don't even. May the force be with you. What I want to talk about today comes directly from a friend of mine. I reconnected with this individual back in December. He shall remain nameless. And I had a conversation on the phone with him again last night. And the topic was really the same as it was back in December. So this is a guy who had a successful career in another field and now has found himself in a sales job. And the story is that it's just really difficult. He's not a salesperson, he keeps telling me. And he is, by all metrics, underperforming at the company. And he told me last night that in all probability he will be let go in 90 days if he doesn't improve. And yet he continues to have what he calls call anxiety or call reluctance. And so I coached him to within an inch of his life back in December, and I coached him again last night. And really what I wanted to say to him, I think, is applicable to all of you that are listening. And so I'm going to bring it around to whatever your situation is, so hang with me. So we talked about the fact that he keeps telling himself that sales is difficult. And it's difficult because he doesn't know how to do it. He's not been trained as a salesperson, and he doesn't want to show his vulnerability by going to any of the successful salespeople in his company and asking for help. And he also tells himself that, he can't control what the person on the other end of the line says. And, what if they're rude to me, or what if they hang up on me, or what if they take the information, they just don't act on it, and I can't get a sale out of it. And so my answer to him was, the best way to become a good salesperson is to, guess what? Wait for it. It's really a tough one. Sell. Keep selling. Keep doing it. So that reluctance that he's having to make those calls is exactly what is keeping him where he is. He's telling himself it's hard to make those calls. He's not making the calls. He's not improving. And so he's telling himself, I'm not a good salesperson. And now he's got plenty of evidence to that fact. So number one was that you have to just do it anyway. So the thing about our brain, and this is brain science, I've talked about this before, our brain does not distinguish between mastodons at the mouth of the cave and a phone call that we don't want to make. Our primitive brain sees that all exactly the same. It's going to kill us, right? Well, chances are him picking up the phone and making a call, even if it's a cold call, they are not fatal. And yet, that is what his brain is telling him, and that is what he is reacting to. So he has to get over that. But here's the deal, and here's kind of part two of this. It has to start with your thought. Now, think about this. Carry this through. If he continues to think, I'm not a salesperson, this is difficult, I don't know how to do this, and yet pushes through with those calls, he's not going to show up as the best version of himself. And he is most likely going to have further evidence that I'm no good, this is difficult, I'm not a salesperson. He's going to show up as that creepy, needy version of himself. He's going to be coming at this from a place of lack or scarcity instead of a place of abundance. But by telling himself something better, something that serves him better, he will get completely different results. If he continues to say the negative things to himself and goes and makes the phone calls anyway, it's kind of this. That's the best way I can describe it. You're kind of beating up against yourself. You're not going to be in alignment. You're not going to be in a flow. You're going to be very uncomfortable, and you're going to turn out kind of needy and creepy in those phone calls. And this applies to whatever it is that you need to do that you don't want to do. As long as you're telling yourself, I don't want to do this, I'm no good at it, this will be difficult, and you do it anyway, you're not going to get the results because this is going to be happening. So point number two, which has to come first, is a different thought, a thought that serves you better. Here is one of the most beautiful realizations that I've made in the last couple of years as I went through a coaching program with my coach, the Brooke Castillo, who I talk about a lot. All of you who know me have heard me talk about Brooke many, many times. If you do not listen to her podcast, you should. You absolutely should listen to the Life Coach School podcast. But she talks about you know, you get to think whatever you want to think. You get to believe whatever you want to believe about yourself. Isn't that wonderful? I mean, just marinate on that for a minute. It doesn't have to have any factual basis. She says we're all delusional, so we might as well be delusional in our own favor. So think about the thoughts that you're having. So I invited this individual. Is the thought, this is difficult? Is the thought, I'm not a salesperson? Is the thought, I don't know how to sell? Are any of those thoughts serving you and getting the results you want? Obviously not. Now, here's the thing. Your brain's not going to do a 180. It's not going to believe, oh, I'm a fantastic salesperson, but it will believe an incremental change that will serve you better. So you make these little shifts until you get a thought that is very positive. So maybe he goes from thinking, I'm not a salesperson to I have a job as a salesperson. My job is salesperson. You know, if he needs to go from I'm not a salesperson to I'm a person, that's better. Believe it or not, that's better. Research has shown you need about 28 days of repetition to put that thought into a neural pathway in your brain. So you write it down, you put it on your mirror, you say it over and over again, you catch yourself nicely whenever you find yourself going back to the old neural pathway and saying, I don't know how to sell, I'm not a salesperson. Just correct yourself gently and kindly, and it will become a neural pathway in your brain as well, just like the old one was. The thing about those negative thoughts that we all have is that we are really good at thinking them. We don't know we're thinking them. They've gone into our subconscious. Our brain is very efficiently continuing to think that thought, and we've created a nice strong neural pathway. So now we're going to create a new one. So let me bring this around to whatever your thing is. So for him it was sales. Maybe for you it is, if you're an entrepreneur, maybe it is picking up the phone and making those sales calls. For a lot of my entrepreneurial friends, that's your deal. What if you work and it's, I need to ask for a raise, I want to ask for a promotion. Maybe you want to go outside of your company and get another job somewhere. What are you telling yourself about that? Are you telling yourself, I don't have the qualifications for that job, for that raise, they won't give me that promotion? If you are, I promise that's the result you'll get. Your brain is super efficient. And if you're telling your brain, I won't get that promotion, your brain goes, okay, I can do that. I can get that, not get that promotion for you. I got it. I'm on it. What can you tell yourself? I might get that promotion. It's a possibility. I want to believe I'm qualified for that promotion. Little baby steps, you practice them, and then that one will become easy, and you stretch it a little bit further. These are very different than affirmations that are very visionary and kind of forward focused, and we're going to put them way out there in the future. This is in the here and now, today. This is what I choose to believe so that I can get the result that I want in my life. So think about it. What are you telling yourself that you can't do, you don't know how to do, you don't want to do, you're no good at, people will laugh at you if you do it, whatever the thought is in your head, and then look at the results you're getting. What can you tell yourself different so that you'll get a different result? I see a bunch of people have joined. You guys got to put my glasses on to see who. Kim McShane, Kelby, hey, freezing, right? Yeah, I've gotten that message from up there. Andrea, hello. Michelle, another, oh, Andrea O'Brien, also freezing. You guys are listening to me because you're home because it's too cold to go to work. Rochelle, Joyce, Susan, it's so great that you guys joined me. I hope this is helpful. If you have a question about thoughts and kind of getting the results that you want in your life, shoot me a message. I will be glad to answer the group. And yeah, Andrea says, yeah, LOL, it's cold here. Tell me your temperatures, you guys. Everybody tell me how cold it is right now. I'd love to see it. This is like record-breaking cold stuff, and I cannot tell you how glad I am that I no longer live in Northeast Missouri for this. So let me know what your questions are about thoughts and getting the results that you want and overcoming that negative talk in your head so that you can achieve whatever results you want in your life. And stay warm. Take care.